I think they sell anger. I think they sell get back. I think they sell for men who feel like women did not pay them the attention they wanted. They get the chance to really humble them. Sometimes they say some real stuff, like in the midst of that, but a lot of the things they're really into, like I mean, it's
It gives me
really.
OnlyFans though. Does it not give you OnlyFans?
I've never been on OnlyFans, so I'm not. I don't know what it's like. So
Well,
I'm
you know the difference between a constructive panel of people in
right.
opposed to a trashy way of doing, because you can still
Yeah.
have the same conversation, but in a different way. You don't
Right.
bring these women who are not considered the ladies of the group on a panel and just and have a who can if you talk to people like this all the time, you one of them. Why are you even? Why
Mhm.
are they even in your Rolodex? Why are they even in your conversation? If you are up here and your intellect is up, why are you having conversation with people who are not even on your level? Like you wouldn't even have anything in common with these people.
I
Okay.
think the premise of the show is to be able to embrace a mindset that men feel is. I think it's less prevalent than the show makes it seem. But those women are specifically selected for that. You find like the bimbo who won't be able to argue the point back. But I want to go back to what Destiny said. I agree with everything he said, and I like to add this context. I think most people who immigrate here have a very different stance in regards to almost everything. His point about them being the top 10% or the top position of people who made it from there to here is also something that you need to acknowledge and take into context, because everybody didn't come over, only the highly driven and motivated. And it's really
Absolutely.
possible. We talked about this before, that ambition, drive, and perseverance is also a gift like height, or a gift like attractiveness. That's a skill or a personality trait that I think transfers intergenerationally, whether it's through nature or nurture. And one of the things is in the Black American experience, we have been fighting against that system, even to just be treated as humans. So there's an amount of disdain that you'll even hear somebody say like, "Oh, you sound white," and it's a very intentional attempt to separate, where people who come here by choice want to integrate. So I think that's probably more of, if right now they flipped it on its head and it meant to be like what our definition of hood is, and lower achieving and all that, if they turn that to what it meant to be white, because of the way we interact with America, we would then go to the opposite end of the spectrum. It's a strong desire to rebel against it, because it's so much ingrained um intergenerational trauma and anger towards what happened. And I don't think, if you don't come from that, you won't really understand it. I think it's dismissive to just to say like when I told you, I showed y'all the book before. When I look at my kids and I look at the receipts for my family movie being sold, that stuff angers me. It's people who don't have that same cultural upbringing who like, oh yeah, that shit was a long time ago. To me, that shit was yesterday, as far as I'm concerned, because I know how I would have felt in that. And it could be just me project. I don't know, but I have an extreme feeling about it based off knowing that this was done to my people, and then talking with my grandfather and hearing the stories about when he was sharecropping, because they came from they. One of my uncles killed a white man in Mississippi because they came in the house to hurt his son. He ended up killing him, and they had to flee from there. And my people made it to Chicago, migrating due to threat of violence and threat of extreme repercussions from being standing their ground where they was at in the South. Like that come with it. My grandfather still got a cotton plant in his room. It's a different, it's a whole different cultural upbringing and understanding when that it actually affects you and hit home. I seen a study one time that said when you remove the man from a home, like say a man daughter get raped and that man kills that the man who raped his daughter, and they remove him from the home, that family's trajectory dramatically changes from other people of the same family who did not go through that specific incident. And there are negative effects that ripple through time the same way positive effects ripple through time. The same way you can solidify your family through creating a business and have generational wealth, you can have generational trauma that ripples throughout society. So, I've experienced it and I see it all the time. So that's that's my piece on that.
Mhm.
I personally don't know enough about the immigrant experience to truly speak on that. What I heard was a white dude making excuses, making black people out to be victims, and and this is where Marcus and I kind of have a disagreement, but I truly don't see us as victims because I refuse to be a victim, regardless of what has happened in the past. I think where the United States is right now, we have the opportunity to make whatever of it that we choose to make of it. So I refuse to have a victim's mindset. The choices that I've made, the things that have happened in my life are due to the choices that I made, that no one else made. And what I also heard is, up until the end when they started talking about redlining, what I also heard was basically generalizing Black Americans in regards to uh, work ethic, family structure. We're we're not a monolith. Some of us didn't have families. Some of us did. Some of us had a huge family that was close, tight knit, came up middle class, maybe even upper middle class, and was able to run with it. Some did not. And I think when immigrants, and again, I'm not well versed on the immigrant experience, so this is from a what I've seen type of deal. Um, I think when they come over, all they have is each other, is that family. So they're going to work to be what they would consider successful in the United States. So I I don't want to. I can't view black people as lazy, and I can't view black people as all from broken homes. That I can't do that.
I
It,
don't,
it
I don't,
so like I'm listening to this guy, and I'm like I don't need a white dude to tell me about the black experience when I've lived a black experience my entire damn life. And I make the choices that dictate what happens next in my life.
right. I'm not
So
removing personal. Oh, I'm sorry.
no. Go ahead. I was going to keep talking in circles
Yeah.
because like I just kept hearing what kept going through my head is this dude just generalize and say basically because there's no family structure, black people don't aren't lazy or are lazy and aren't driven. Is that what I'm hearing? And
So
then
I don't.
at the tail end he talked about redlining. I was like, okay, so this is just a clip, and I'm just taking the clip at what I hear.
Okay, so first, I don't think he was saying black people are lazy. I think he was speaking to. So I believe in personal responsibility, right? I'm a big proponent of personal responsibility, accountability, and taking control of your life and destiny. I'll talk about it often when I speak about you can damn near manipulate the reality you live in, and then the outcomes you get from that. All of those things are tangible things you can hang your hat on in facts. That does not dismiss that there is something that you have to the hurdle you have to leap over in order to get to that point. He was talking about the hurdle, right? And my ability to try and remain positive through negative situations is in fact a gift. It's not something it's a gift that maybe you can acquire through trying to manipulate the way you view the world, but it's not something everybody is born with and not something everybody is taught. I think he was just speaking to the realities of something. Acknowledging that something happened, that something is a thing, doesn't negate that they're like if somebody gets. So I give you an example. If your daughter, if you had a girl child and she was taken advantage of for 20 years by a corporation, right? Then your best opportunity to earn money was to go work for that corporation. Could you in good conscience go do it?
My best opportunity would be okay. I just want to make sure I understand the scenario. My daughter worked 20 years at a company,
No, she was
and
the daughter was like trafficked for 20 years by a specific court. Let's say a AA company. They kidnapped your daughter and they sexually trafficked her and
okay,
exploited her for 20 years. And when she got free, your opportunity to provide for your family was to go work for that company. Would you do it?
Absolutely not.
That's how we view America in a sense. The people that feel how I feel about it. So that now, does that mean you don't got to go provide for your family? Does that mean you don't got to get a job? Does that mean you don't got to do? It doesn't mean any of those things. But there's that context to it with everything. That's why I made the comparison about our desire to not assimilate is different than people who immigrate here with the desire to assimilate.
So
They don't have that
just
experience. To them, it's just a company with an opportunity. To us, there's something attached to that opportunity that we have
so
not been able to shrug off.
so then you walk around angry every day.
That's pretty
Like,
much the Black person experience.
I'm not angry. I don't walk around angry. I'm not mad at the United States, mainly because I understand the nature of people, and people will typically do what's in the best interest of themselves, and that's what colonizers do. They go and take over an area and try to make it what they want it to be.